Today we are in Dubai's vast desert landscape with a challenge. Can a $1,500 iPhone 15 Pro's zoom capabilities compete against a $15,000 Nikon super telephoto lens? And how will they perform when capturing a Jeep Wrangler racing across the sand dunes of Dubai? Well, let's find out. Hey everyone, my name is Yobel and I am a travel photographer and videographer focused on sharing the best of the world with the rest of the world through my lens. Today's video, a bit unusual. We're taking the latest iPhone 15 Pro and a Pro level Nikon lens out into the wild to see how they stack up against each other. Now I'm not going to hide it, I am a big fan of my camera gear. They've been my trusted, albeit expensive, companions on countless adventures throughout the world. But hey, the tech world keeps spinning and smartphones are stepping up their game, and we should treat it seriously and test it for ourselves. We're not just comparing tech specs here, we're going to take these cameras out into the wild to see how they truly perform. For this trip, I decided to pack up a few different gear. The 400mm lens, of course, coupled with my Nikon Z9 camera. We have the iPhone 15 Pro, a powerhouse in a pocket, with a cute photo of my cat for extra good luck, the DJI Mini 4 Pro for some epic landscape shots, and the Zhiyun Smooth 5S gimbal, which shout out to Zhiyun for lending me as I take it for a test drive on this shoot, but also for some upcoming travel vlog adventures. And by the way, the lighting you see in my home studio is all provided by Zhiyun, so as you can tell, I am a big fan. So with that, let's get the show on the road, as they say. I met up with my friend Dimitris in his Jeep Wrangler, which will be the subject of today's shoot. And by the way, check out Dimitris' YouTube channel for his incredible content, linked in the description below. After a quick drive out of the main city and into the desert landscape, we were ready to get the action started. Now, unlike the iPhone, my 400mm super telephoto lens requires a bit of assembly. I may be biased, but putting it all together is sort of half the fun. At least I tell myself that. Or as I told Dimitris, this is to me what your Jeep is to you, okay? So I gotta protect this bad boy. Protect this bad boy indeed. So once the camera and lens were ready to go and we were done with our fun, we began mapping out potential driving paths and how best to frame the upcoming scenes. But hey, the best way to pick a path? Just jump in and take a fun little test drive ourselves. Oh my god.
Man, it also came inside in my face. I ate some too.
Whew. Okay, I was recording. Oh man, a bit more sand than I expected. Hey, who needs breakfast, you know? Alright. After finding our ideal path and with a fair share of sand in our stomachs, we geared up for the main event. Dimitris took to dune bashing, pushing his car and perhaps his insurance policy to the upper limits, while I set up at a safe distance with my professional camera and iPhone. We probably could have called it a day after a few takes, but let's be honest, the kids in us could not resist the joy of spending an entire lazy afternoon in our own dusty playground, kicking up sand just because we can. As the day drew to a close, I also had the chance to try out the Zhiyun Smooth 5S gimbal for the first time. And let me tell you, it's shaping up to be a fantastic addition for my upcoming global adventures. But as for today's desert shoot, that's a wrap. Now that we've returned from our sandy escapade, it's time to examine the footage. We'll begin with the photographs. For context, I use the highest possible quality settings on the smartphone camera, which are adjustable in the camera settings. Cutting straight to the chase, the iPhone's photo quality, it doesn't come close to the heavyweight combo of my professional camera and lens. Take this shot for example. The Jeep is clearly a good distance away. And notice this solitary bush? Remember it as we will refer back to it for tracking later on. Zooming in, there's an evident amount of noise, presenting as a grainy texture, especially in areas that should be smooth, like the sand and the Jeep's surface. Now, what if the Jeep is only a few meters away? At first glance, these shots seem of higher quality. However, a closer look reveals a slew of noise, distortion, and other imperfections. And while I'm no authority on the matter, I suspect the iPhone falters in capturing crisp images of fast-moving subjects, despite the fast shutter speed settings, which were at times upwards of 1/2100th of a second. Consider this final photo of the stationary Jeep. It's the only one in this series where the details are razor sharp. Unfortunately, the iPhone has its limitations, lacking quick, on-the-fly adjustments for shutter speed, aperture, ISO, and focus while you're shooting. So how did the 400mm lens perform? In a nutshell, the disparity in quality is night and day. These sequences showcase clean images, with the subject being incredibly sharp and virtually noise-free. Not only that, I could zoom and crop extensively without sacrificing quality, to the extent that I could have captured photos of Dimitris inside his drifting car, picking his nose if he did, catching him in 4K so to speak. He didn't actually, but you get the point. Now for a side-by-side comparison, the iPhone on the left, Nikon on the right. Using the bush as our marker, you'll notice the distant Jeep in the Nikon shot is still strikingly clear, especially when zoomed in, unlike the iPhones. Photography is, after all, quite subjective, so as a parting thought, I present to you these 4 photos, allowing you, the audience, to judge which captures your preference. Let's shift our focus to video capture, starting with this raw footage of the Jeep. And here's what it looks like with a little bit of editing magic. Any guesses which device captured this? If you said iPhone, you're spot on. Shooting in 4K Apple ProRes Log delivers stunning quality, but let's talk reach. Yes, there's up to 9 times the optical zoom from the standard lens, but when does the video start losing its edge? To find out, I recorded my phone screen while zooming. At the full 9x zoom, frankly, the footage was too soft to be practical. But as the Jeep drew nearer and I dialed back the zoom to about 4 to 3.5 times the zoom, clarity improved noticeably, bringing the Jeep into sharper focus. While many elements affect video quality on the iPhone, our spotlight today is zoom capability, so we'll save the deeper technical discussions for another time. As we reach the grand finale, the question still looms. Can the 400mm lens dramatically outshine the iPhone 15 Pro's zoom capabilities? Let's take a look. Here's the unedited raw footage. After some creative adjustments, cinematic. While our focus is zoom, the prowess of the camera files and the lens's clarity can't be ignored. It's not just about bringing distant objects closer, it's about capturing each moment with artistic finesse. Consider how the Jeep remains sharply in focus even from afar, and notice the bokeh effect, making the sand kicked up into the air appear as a smooth cascade, all while the Jeep is sharply defined against this soft backdrop. There are of course trade-offs. The heft of the camera and lens combo challenges steady handheld shots. And with the fixed lens as opposed to the iPhone's variable zoom, once the subject gets too close, I'm constrained by the frame. But these constraints can spur creativity, like in this shot, where I zeroed in on just the Jeep's front tire. It reveals the art of motion in the sand, capturing the tire's intricate dance across the dunes, each grain of sand part of the performance. And while the iPhone offers a versatile dance partner, the 400mm lens invites us to a ballet, where every detail is part of the choreography. So as we wrap up this section, remember, cameras are tools, but vision is the true artist. So here's my thoughts. The iPhone is a solid sidekick for capturing on the go. And as I've alluded to earlier, I'm planning to use it extensively for capturing behind the scenes, vlog, and selfie moments all on my upcoming international trips. Which, by the way, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out when I post these videos very shortly. But back to the iPhone. This latest technological marvel is a true revolution in the space, as it introduces Apple's 4K video captures in their log format, all in a convenient, portable, and versatile device. I see so many potential professional applications of the iPhone in my arsenal, including potentially replacing the need of a wide-angle lens for certain environments. However, the 400mm lens in this matchup is truly the heavyweight champ for pro shots. As a professional, it's not just about having the right tool for the job, it's about having the right system as well. Whether you're a Nikon user like myself, or you use Sony, Canon, or other professional camera systems, the combination of camera bodies, lenses, and other accessories creates value that's beyond the sum of all its parts. But hey, the sum of the parts costs a whopping amount, right? And when you compare it to the iPhone definitely takes the cake when it comes to cost efficiency. But having said that, even with the iPhone, to fully unlock its professional potential, you will most likely need to invest in a supporting cast of expenses, whether it be an external SSD to enable the faster 60 frames per second. It could be ND filters, gimbals for stabilization. Maybe you need a portable charging bank because of the faster juice consumption of a smartphone versus a dedicated camera. Perhaps larger internal storage of your device to enable you to shoot more of this type of content. And so much more accessories. So basically, a system with extra steps. So what do you think? Would you make the switch as a photographer or videographer now or in the near future? Or do you view your professional camera gear as irreplaceable? Or are there certain scenarios or applications that you think the iPhone would actually excel for what you need it to do? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and videos. We're on step 1 of an exciting journey ahead, and I'm thrilled to have you along for the ride.